Hey everyone, Richard here at Calvin Wazoo, and it's here. My copy of the live release Spaces from the Masquerade by Car Seat Headrest. So I received it the other day. I've only listened to it a couple of times, and I'm not going to do any song by song analysis because I did that in the sort of preview video that I did prior to the release. The songs we all know, but now I'm just going to talk about this particular recording. The lineup of the songs is really good, and the progression through, starting with Crows and then going all the way through to Deadlines. It's a really good progression of songs and the way everything was put together. What I really like about this release is the arrangements of the songs are, to a great degree, are true to the studio recordings, but there is some variance that's not only musical in some circumstances, but lyrical as well. So there are some on-the-spot adaptations, I think, perhaps going on with some of the songs. And that really makes things exciting because when it comes to a live album, I am one, and I think most people don't want a studio album. Okay, we have the studio album, and we know what the studio album sounds like. When we get a live recording, we want to hear a live recording. We want to experience the atmosphere and the energy from the show that the live recording was taken. Having said that, I have some issues. Well, I have an issue with this recording. I'll get to that in a minute, but that's the reason why I'm only giving it 4 rainbows out of 5. The performances and the vocals, the singing, it was all great all the way through. The other thing I liked about the tone that was set with the opening track of Crows really gave the music and the show a very psychedelic feeling and atmosphere. That was something with the inserts, with the liner notes. I am presuming Will wrote the liner notes, and it says here, for Crows always felt like the right track to start off the Masquerade tour. It was gloomy, it was dancey, and in 10 years, we'd never played it live. So that was really very cool when I saw them here in Chicago. In the wake of Twin Fantasy, we'd done a tour that bathed audiences in a warm wash of guitars. For Making a Door Less Open, the goal was to create an alien yet immersive environment in every venue. And the Crows did set that tone and also created the sound stage for the very psychedelic feel that is exhibited throughout all of the songs on here. Even with something like Him. And the the song from and that Ian did, which I never seem to be able to remember. It's My Child, I'll Do What I Like. Again, very great psychedelic feel to it. From Ethan, I said Ian. But and the Drunk Driver, Killer Whales. I mean, yeah, not going to go into all that. So the orchestration and the presentation of the music and the songs is just incredible. And again, I liked the psychedelic feel that was imbued throughout all the pieces. What I didn't like, and this is not something on the band, this is the recording, the sound engineer. What I didn't like was the way the crowd noise was muffled, was subdued. It was not, except in a few select parts where, the crowd is singing along, which I know when I saw them in Chicago, that was happening all the time. So on some parts, that crowd sound of the people singing along was brought forward. But for the most part, it was like cloaked. It was like in a bubble, separated from the band. And so I go back to a live recording, I think for most of us, when we get a live recording, we don't want a studio album. And this separation of the crowd from the music going on the stage, to me, rendered this almost like a studio album. They could have been just recording it live in a studio. And, it would sound still great. The band's performance would still be outstanding. And the orchestration in the organization of the songs would still be brilliant. You just wouldn't have any crowd noise. But this was not a live recording in a studio. This was a concert. So on that mark, because of the way the crowd noise was really treated like a secondhand issue and not integrated fully into the performance, I only give this 4 rainbows out of 5. And I went back and I looked at who did the recording and the mixing and the production, and it was this fellow John Masquerade, who also did the sound for Making a Door Less Open. He was the sound engineer for Making a Door Less Open. But the production and the mixing was overseen by Andy and Will. So their influence was, imprinted on that. And then, of course, it was the lacquer was mastered by Bernie Grunman. So, I mean, even with that sound separation that was kind of distancing the audience sound, the sound is still great. As I say, the sound of the band and their performing, the clarity of the vocals, the separation of the instruments. It's just really amazing playing, and you can hear it all without something else overpowering it. The drawback for me that is just holding me back from giving this an outright perfect score is the way the crowd was sort of kept out of the act, kept out of the party. So does it bug me enough to not want to listen to this? No. It's, as I say, musically, and the performance of the band is absolutely brilliant. I'll be listening to this recording a lot. I just wish the audience was made a little bit more part of the experience than what I am getting. And it was definitely, I found it more noticeable when I was listening to it through headphones. I really had to do some adjusting when I was listening to headphones on the bass and treble. And I found when I engaged loudness, then I was getting a better sound experience with the headphones. Through my speakers, I didn't need the loudness, and things were sounding good, sounding separated, and having space. But there was still that sort of invisible sonic wall that kept the audience at bay. And that was kind of disappointing. But still, I am really excited about this. I love the recording. One last thing regarding packaging, and I see this a lot, where the inner sleeves are these like heavy duty like card stock, which is nice for the information that they put on here. My problem with it is static. When you try and pull the album out, there's so much static that you really have to go and like really pull, and and then it can be really dicey removing the record because of all that static and the coarseness of the cardboard. I have scratched brand new albums by taking them out for the first time, because I always store, as I'm doing now, I store all my records, in polyline sleeves once I take them out, and then I keep these inserts, as part of the package because they are nice. And there are a lot of record plants and the people who are responsible for the packaging and design, there's a lot of them that do that, and I wish they would stop and put polyline sleeves in there. If you're going to do this, great, include this, but put the actual record in a polyline sleeve to protect it. So anyway, yes, I love it. Okay. But yeah, there's some issues. I wish there's some issues, but I still love it. Come on, it's Car Seat Headrest. Thanks for watching. You can follow me on Instagram. I am NewsDude76. That's NEWZDUDE76. You can also follow me on my Facebook page, Kelvin Wazoo, where I have my videos, but I also have other content related to music. And as always, remember, pray for the people inside your head, for they won't be there when you're dead.